Welcome back to my channel. This video is gonna be about Meatball, since it's a Monday, and I'm gonna do Meatball Mondays, which is videos about my cat, like his care, just about him in general, like some of the stuff that he has, like toys, beds, whatever. In this video, though, I'm going to tell you how I got Meatball. So it was 9 years ago. Oh my gosh, can't believe he's 9 years old. 9 years ago, there was a little pet shop on the main street, which is State Street, like in the town where I live. And a lady had brought in some kittens that she had found, like, under her shed or something. She hadn't seen the mom or whatever. And they were tiny babies at the time, so they needed bottle fed. And so the people at the pet store, they took them in and they were bottle feeding them. And so they were at the pet store. My grandma wanted a kitten for Mother's Day, because Mother's Day was coming up. And so I was like, okay, we'll go and see. Now, this is back before I knew that it was better to adopt than to shop, as they say. Like, obviously, like, I don't regret getting him, but, like, I kind of would have done things different if I would have known better back then. But, so we go to the pet store, and my grandma seen this little calico cat. There was, like, a calico cat. Meatball was the only orange cat. There was, like, a black and white one, and then there was, like, another calico, and then there was another colored one, but I can't, like, remember, like, what it was. And so my grandma picked out the calico one, and I don't know, I just thought that Meatball was, like, the cutest little thing ever. I mean, he was beating up his litter mates, like, he was playing and being, like, well, not, like, aggressive, but you know how little kittens play. And, so I was living with my grandpa at the time, and I told my grandpa about this, because I didn't obviously just want to bring a cat in without asking him, because it was his house. And, so I was telling him, and he just kind of, like, ignored me, like, thinking that it would just, like, go away. So, like, every day I kept going in and asking, has anybody wanted this little ginger cat? They're like, no, nobody has been interested in him, so, like, every day I kept checking on him, and every day I kept telling my grandpa about this little ginger cat and his little antics that he done, and my grandpa just kind of, like, blew me off. Well, obviously we couldn't take him home right away because they had to be bottle fed. So, like, when we finally got to take him, they had a special. You pay $24, and then when you got the cat spayed or neutered, you would bring in the certificate to prove that you had got them spayed or neutered, and then they would give you your money back. So essentially they were free. So the time comes to pick up my grandma's kitten. So we go in, and I asked the lady again, has anybody wanted this little kitten? And, there was a guy there, and he was like, well, I was just asking about it. I was like, oh, okay. And then the lady explained, that I came every day asking whatever, and the guy's like, oh, well, you have more invested in this than I clearly do. I just came in and just saw him, but since you've been here, like, every day for, like, so many weeks, like, checking on him, you know, if you want to take him home, you can go ahead and take him home. So I was like, oh, well, I gotta check with my grandpa first, and I made my mom call my grandpa, because I was afraid that he would say no. And so I made my mom call my grandpa, and I could hear him on the phone, like, his voice, he was like, well, she has to take care of him. Like, he really didn't want me to have Meatball, but he wasn't saying no either. So, he wasn't saying yes, and he wasn't saying no. But I could tell that he really didn't want him, but I was like, well, maybe, you know, I'll bring Meatball home, and he'll love him, which is exactly what happened. So, and then when I was checking out, the lady goes, well, that would be $24, and I go, oh, well, I'm getting the other one, and she goes, oh, well, you can, we're just giving it to you for free. So I got Meatball for free. I'm like, oh, okay. Or so I thought. I got Meatball for free. Here's the thing. So I brought Meatball home, and my grandpa's like, all right, let me see this little critter. So I showed Grandpa Meatball, and like, I went into his room, and I showed him, and he lit up. Oh my gosh, like, he loved him so much. You didn't tell me that he was a yellow cat. He called him a yellow cat, even though he's a ginger cat. He was like, you didn't tell me he was a yellow cat. Yellow cats are my favorite. Ever since then, even though Meatball was supposed to be my cat, he bonded with my grandpa. And, like, so my grandpa took him over. But I inherited him back when my grandpa, you know, sadly passed away. But, oh yeah, or I thought that I got him for free. I took in the certificate that my grandma got her cat fixed. And they asked me if I had gotten my cat fixed. And I said, yes, I had. And they gave me money for fixing Meatball. So technically, they paid me $24 to take Meatball. Which, you know, it works out. And I told him, I was like, but I got the other one for free. And she's like, oh, it's okay, you got him fixed. So I love telling that story about how they paid me $24 to get Meatball. So it's like they paid me to take him. And did you know, well, of course you don't know, that Meatball was supposed to be a Captain Kirk. Like, I was going to name him James Tiberius Kirk, and nobody wanted that name, so I chose Meatball, because he tried to steal, like, little meatballs all the time, because he would lay on my grandpa's bed, and then whenever my grandpa would have spaghetti and meatballs, Meatball would try to sneak a little meatball, so I named him Meatball. But that is the story of Meatball, and I hope you enjoyed this video from Meatball Monday. And stay tuned to this channel for various, you know, videos.